I think it's about time you knew why I even got here in the first place. This is not an easy story to tell. It's very dark. It's not for kids. And it's probably slightly against the guidelines, but because some of you have been wanting to know, some of you have been curious why I even arrived here to this decision, to this course, to this life path. I had a date. A date, an exact day, exact month, exact year, to not be around anymore. It felt like an easier decision than to stick around. That was supposed to be 5 years ago. As you can see, I chose the harder decision to stay. Because it seemed at that time that as much as I was suffering, I still felt like there's a reason that I should stay. There is a reason that maybe there's still a little more hope for me before I end everything. And in all honesty, I haven't found that answer. I'm still waiting to get the answer, or maybe the answer is right in front of me, and I haven't really looked at it properly. A lot of people will say that it's very selfish. It's very stupid to want to end your own life. I had my reasons, and as everyone else had reasons to be leaving this planet. I get it. I understand why you want to leave. It's not a great life. You know, some of us have been dealt with cards that are difficult. And when I hear those stories from others who are also suffering in the same boat as me, I tell them, yeah, it's valid. I see why you want to leave. But also, maybe it's your decision to make, maybe it's not. But I decided to stay. I hesitated about posting this video because it's very vulnerable. I wasn't sure if I would make it through the entire video, or maybe I would stop. But I am almost 4 minutes in. I'm 4 minutes in to the video. There you go. 4 minutes. And I have been contemplating whether sharing my vulnerability online is gonna be okay. Because there's lots of people who are not supposed to be seeing that video. These are for those who are contemplating. You know, I had a date set. Maybe you're contemplating yours. Whether what day to choose to end everything, which stuff to give away to whom. Maybe you have a pet. I have had many pets in my life. Cats. The reason I stayed. It's funny that most of my reasons is I stayed for cats. I stayed for cats. I had friends. My family's there. But my main reason for still being here is a cat. For some reason, every time I wanted to end my life, the universe would give me a cat at the worst times of my life. Something to stay for. And I say the universe, even though I was born into a Catholic religion. religion because it's not because I lost my faith in God. I've met God. And not sure if I wanted to see God as a man. So I removed myself from the Catholic religion, the Christian religion. I would attend church only if, like, it's absolutely necessary. But as much as possible when people ask me, especially here in the Philippines. I live in a very heavily Christian, Catholic country. Like, 2/3 of the country is Catholic or Christian. And I witnessed that here a lot because I was at Metro Mall today and everyone would stop what they're doing as soon as it hits 6 o'clock and some prayers are being said over the speaker. Everyone would stop what they're doing. Like the cashiers would stop what they're doing, stop checking out the products, and then they would sit still and they would wait for the prayers to be finished. I've stopped doing the sign of the cross. I've stopped a lot of things. Like, I don't go to church anymore. And when people ask me, do you go to church? I said, no, I don't. And their first reaction is like, why? Have you lost your faith in God? No. I've lost my faith in the religion. It's misogynistic. And I could unpack that for... That's another video. This video is your curiosity. And I have some questions here that people want me to answer. How did I come to this conclusion? How did I get here? That's a really long story. And I'm already 7 minutes in. I'm not going to edit this, by the way. Okay, let me just open Instagram. That's where it is. So, okay, some of these questions are funny. So, I was supposed to take graphic design right after high school. I really, really wanted to take graphic design because architecture is just way too many maths for me. I hate maths. So I was supposed to take architecture. And my plan was to go to either Canterbury University or Auckland University in New Zealand. I got accepted. I applied to those universities and I got an offer of place. The biggest obstacle was money. I am an international student, considered one, and the school fees for going to a university in New Zealand was $45,000 per year. The degree was 3 years long. So, here is a question. Your emotions, decisions, thoughts, and what others thought. So, I got into this psychology. My decision. Purely my decision. Because the options here in the Philippines, the biggest options is education. Like, you know, getting a education degree, engineering, and nursing. And I'm not going to do any of that. Because that's what everybody's doing. And I only applied to one university. For most people here, they apply to like 3, 4 universities, so they have a higher chance of getting into a university. I just applied to one, which is in this city. It was the only university in this city, so I was like, okay. Everybody's getting accepted, so why not me? I had a hard time getting into this school. I almost didn't get in because they couldn't understand my grades. I was in New Zealand before I came here to the Philippines, and I think, yeah, I had to leave for legal reasons. I'm not going to disclose that. For legal reasons, I had to leave, and then I had to come back here. And I had the options between getting a job here in the Philippines, and that's not a great thing, or going to college. Because I still haven't gone to college. I couldn't pay for college, the one that I wanted to go to. So graphic design or, architecture, but too much maths. So I was gonna get graphic design. I also found out there was programming in that one. Yeah. Um, and my aunt that I was living with in this city, she was saying, you can't wait until your parents take you back to New Zealand because that's gonna be a long time. It was 3 years wait. I had to wait for 3 more years to go back there with my parents. And so I was like, fuck that. I'm going to school. I'm going to college. So she said that there's a university here and they're offering da 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 da, and then she said psychology. And I was like, I'm taking that. I'm taking psychology. I didn't think about the other decisions. I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't care about what other people thought. I just told my parents. I wasn't asking them permission. I just told them, so, hey, I'm going to psychology. Cool. I'm gonna start applications tomorrow. I walked through my papers and I almost cried because I almost didn't get in. I thought they made it seem like they lost my folder. So and the interview also made me cry. I thought I wasn't gonna get in. I told them because they asked questions like, why do you want to take psychology? Why are you taking psychology? And I told her, well, because I had shitty mental health when I was younger and I wanted to help other people. I've also been self-studying psychology when I was younger because I wanted to find out what the hell was going on with me. And she said, I told her that I had depression. And the interviewer was saying, are you diagnosed? My personal experience is not enough. I have to have papers for that? Okay. So, yeah, literally. Mental health was already shit because she was even asking me that question. As a person trying to get into psych, my experience, personal experience, has to be validated by a piece of paper and by somebody else. So that was not fun. I eventually got in anyway. My shadow side before the journey. How hard actually is studying psychology? Okay, so I've answered your emotions, decisions, thoughts, what others thought. I don't care what others thought. It was my decision, and it's my life. So it's not like my parents or any other relatives is gonna be doing the degree for me, so I didn't care. That's your answer. How hard actually is studying psychology? It's quite difficult, especially if you have shitty professors that don't show up for classes to teach you. And we ended up not having classes, but we still took an exam. um, I'm not mentioning the university because I might get canceled for that, and I don't know what legal they could legally sue me. I don't know. So this university I went to, there's a professor we had, and it was for a major subject that's directly tied to psychology. Didn't show up for. We only had what, 2 classes with this teacher, and we still had to take an exam, which was shit. We went to the exam. We didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was just like, eeny, meeny, miny, moo in that exam. So yeah, but for some reason, I still managed to enroll for second year. Okay, so how hard it is actually studying psychology? That depends on you. That depends on your studying ethics. If you're gonna be lazy, you're gonna get stressed. I was lazy for the first year. I was lazy. I'll be honest, because I would leave um, tasks to do until the very last minute. Don't do that. It's not that hard to study psychology. Our professors like to say that it's very hard. It just depends on you. If you're gonna make your life difficult, it's gonna be hard. But if you're gonna have good study ethic, it's gonna be easy. That's the answer to your question. From school to psych route, I don't know what you're talking about here. It's not a very specific question. This one is, I like this question. Your shadow side before the journey. This is a very long story. I'm already 15 minutes in and I'm not gonna edit this. I'm just gonna upload it and then you're just gonna have to watch. the shadow side before the journey was a very long, arduous, difficult one. Like I told you, I had set a date to end everything. I was very depressed. I had suicidal thoughts. Like I said, I set a date. And I lived in a place where it was very easy to drown myself. The beach is like right across the road. And I could just pick like a really bad stormy day. So, yeah, that's the shadow side. A lot of I I processed a lot of grief, a lot of I don't know, I was just suffering so much for such a young person. It was really weird. Now that I look back at it, I don't even remember most of it. My brain is probably just protecting me from it. What stuff did you not expect? I did not expect to get into psychology. I was supposed to be doing graphic design. I was supposed to be doing some sort of creative thing. I still am, but not as a degree. So, yeah. I did not expect to be in psychology. That wasn't actually in my long-term plan when I said, I only want to go to college. I wanted to take graphic design and be an animator. I wanted to animate because I was that into art. I think for some of you, you've seen my art posts and it's there. Yeah, I wanted to like design a character, bring it to life, and move it around and make a game. That's what I wanted to do, make a game. But here I am, studying people's minds. No, not mind reading. Okay, here's another question. What did you realize you were meant to study? When did you realize you were meant to study this subject? Okay, here's a question. I didn't realize. No, I did not. I got into this. It was like a whimsy decision. No, not a whimsy. Like it was, it was just like I don't know. I just made that decision. I don't know how to explain it because I was given that options, and I didn't want to do those three, which is education, engineering, and nursing, because everybody's doing that, and that's hard. You know, kudos to you guys for doing that. I'm not doing it. Psychology is a different kind of hard. Okay? We are researching about mental health, and while our mental health disappears too. So that's pretty normal. What I didn't expect, because I'm very new to the system here in the Philippines, because I grew up overseas. I know that sounds pretentious, but it's not. Okay? You can, if you knew me in real life, I'm really weird because I would be questioning things that are actually quite normal. Like I'm like, this is normal, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Anyway, yeah, I only realized that I am meant to study this subject when I was in the subject. I said, this is hard, but actually, I want to do something with it. I want to improve women's health when studying this. So that's me. Yeah. Okay, this one is not in English, but I will answer it. The process of my transfer and enrolling, first week of class, and uni impressions. So, before I got into the university, I had an impression that this university had really high standards. It was winning so many awards every fucking year. Like I would hear like it would so many people would graduate or get like top scores on the bar exam. So I was like, this must be a really good university. The reality is quite the opposite. Like I told you the story earlier about a professor that doesn't show up for classes. And until now, I'm in my second year, by the way, and I haven't got like a 4-year course plan. I haven't received that. I don't know if I'm supposed to ask for it, but yeah, there's a lot of things. Yeah, yeah, I'm still not mentioning the school because they might sue me for saying that. But yeah, that's my personal experience, and that's the experience of many other students that goes there, but nobody says anything because apparently in the school had sometimes they international students visit that school, And we had Psych 101, and we were working with a school from Indonesia. Yeah, I think it was, I remember, I don't remember. I think it was Indonesia. Yeah, we were having like an online collab class. So they were online and we were in person. And we were having lessons like that, Zoom classes. I barely processed anything during that class because, yeah. Anyway, I didn't transfer because from high school, didn't go to school for 5 years after high school. No, not 5 years. Oh yeah, almost 5 years. Almost 5 years I didn't go to school because straight after high school I went to work, and then I was in New Zealand, and I was just waiting for stuff to happen, and it never happened, so I had to come back here. So yeah, uni impressions. I had impressions that it's a high standard school, but it's not. It's really not. Okay. Why did I choose psych? Have you ever faced a depression? That's also a good question. Yes, I chose psychology because there is somebody out there in this humongous planet, this small planet. I don't know what it is to people. There's somebody out there who had similar experiences that I did, and I want to help them through it. And I want to have credentials to be helping them through it. Like, I'm not just gonna be telling them, I'm not gonna be talking out of my ass and being like, yeah, it's fine, you're gonna be fine, just like drink water and go to sleep and do exercises. Take a bubble bath, maybe. I always cringe when people tell me that. Like, have you exercised? Have you gone out and touched grass? Yes, I have. I have gone out to touch grass, and it didn't solve anything. I was still miserable. I was just probably a little bit happy. I had a little dopamine boost touching grass, but that's it. What was your dream job? Was? Yeah, it was to be an animator. It was to be an animator and make a game. That didn't happen. I'm not answering these other questions. So that's me. Thank you so much for watching. And oh my god, I didn't cry through this entire video. Because when I was thinking of posting this, I was crying. I was like, I'm not sure if I am ready to post this. And you know what time it is? It's 12:54 a.m. 55. 12:55 a.m. And I'm recording this because everyone is asleep. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will be posting more of these videos, and I'll see you around.